So one of the most anticipated titles for this year has finally gotten announced, and it's finally gotten 3 different reveal trailers and overview and trailers as well as a deep dive into the gameplay and a lot of different highlights as well that were shown of different creators playing the alpha, and that is Bungie's new game in Marathon. And this game itself has been announced for a while now. I think the first announcement for this game came out like 3 years ago now. It's been talks for a while about this game coming out. And if you know anything about Bungie, Marathon is actually one of their original games. They made Marathon for the Mac back in the 90s before they ever made Halo. This was like a first-person shooter for the Mac OS system. That's what Marathon was made for. And I don't think it was an extraction shooter as it is now. It was just like an FPS and also a multiplayer shooter, kind of like its own like Quake and Unreal Tournament. But now we have finally gotten the reveals, like I said, for Marathon, and a lot of people aren't actually all that happy with how Marathon has turned out, and that's why I want to make this video. I'm doing a little bit of a sit down. I'm not standing as much as I usually am, so I want to sit down and I want to have a look at some of these trailers and give my reasons of why I think that people aren't necessarily happy of when it comes to the way that Marathon is looking. Now, if we look at the initial like reveal cinematic short and we just like scroll through it, because I'm not going to like watch the entire thing because I don't want to make this video too long. If we look right here at this initial like first sequence that's going on, I think that this right here looks really great, and the way that they're setting up the world itself is really cool. It's like, it feels like a very Death Stranding type of feel. If you don't know what Death Stranding is, it's a game made by Kojima. And it has that exact same feel mixed with like some cyberpunk elements to it. And it definitely feels like it has that kind of like edgy feel to it. That cyberpunk, like futuristic sci-fi feel to the game, and it looks really great. But I feel like once they start revealing the characters, if we fast forwarded a bit here, and once they start revealing the characters and once you start looking into the world itself around, it kind of just like this screenshot right here, it just doesn't really feel like they mix all that well. Like the characters and the world around it, it kind of looks like it had 2 different artists working on this game of when it came to the environments itself and then also the characters within the game. Now you can say that like, oh, but it's meant to be a rundown world and then it's like futuristic elements are put into that, but it's a video game. When it comes to this video game, you want the characters itself and the world around it to feel seamless. You want them to fit into the world well. You want them to look like they kind of go together, even if they are from a different time period where it's just like the world around them is meant to be, you know, from the past, and they're kind of like, you know, these futuristic cybernetic humans who have given up their I think it was like they've given up all their human elements in order to become, you know, these runners as it's called in the game, but it just still doesn't feel like they fit all that much. Like, as you can see right here with this guy running into the background, it just feels like it's kind of 2 different things that are going on. And then when we have a closer look at these character designs, they just seem extremely plastic. Like, they don't feel like they blend into this world whatsoever, and they don't have any edge to it. Like, this is meant to be a gritty, like, extraction shooter. You can see the world around it where it's just like, it's very dusty, it's dirty, a lot of stuff is run down. If you're going through this world, I mean, the character itself should have some kind of dirt on it, should have some edginess to it. But these characters, to me at least, they have like this shine on them where it feels like they just stick out too much from the world around them. And then we move over to this character, and this is one of the issues that a lot of people have with this game, and the issue that I have with this game, and a lot of things that I have wrong with a lot of designers these days. And I feel like I have some say in this, because I'm currently, and I've mentioned this multiple times whenever I talk about video games, is that I am like studying at the moment to go into game development. And whenever like I'm in a team working together, one thing that I talk about it in my class, and whenever I talk about when I'm working in a group project, is that don't over design stuff. Don't over design it, because when you try to over design, it gets too much. And that's what I feel like this character is. I feel like the character right now, like there's way too much going on. And if they had to keep it simpler, like this design right here, there is like way too much going on with the lipstick, the eyes, and then the eyebrows, and the t-shirt, the leggings, the shirt. It just feels like that they decided to like, let's put every single color that we can think of and every single design that we have onto this one character. And I feel like it goes to show in the actual cinematic itself, where it's just like, I feel like there's like too much dialogue. I feel like with this cinematic itself, it would have done really great in terms of the less that is said, the better. Like, you know, when it's showing off a game, showing off cinematics, or there's even certain scenes in a movie where it's just like the characters aren't speaking, they're letting the world around them and their actions kind of give that mystery and kind of, you know, it feels like it has more impact. I feel like that this trailer would have done that a lot more. And then once we go into like the combat itself here, and it's obviously the cinematic combat, but once again, it just doesn't feel like the game itself and like these players fit into the world. Like, you got this Unreal 5 engine, and this is, I have such an issue with this with so many different games. Like, you look at the leaves, and you look at the ground itself, where it's got like this, almost like this Unreal 5 test, where it's just like, we're trying to like, you know, make the grass as realistic as possible, but then we're gonna put these plastic ass fucking characters into the game. It's just like the environment, it doesn't suit in. Like this right here, where this guy comes into the leaves, the grass does not fit in with this character. His environment doesn't fit in with him. Now, the gameplay itself does look, it looks okay, right? Like, the gameplay itself does look kind of decent, but it's nothing to like, I would say, that really pops out at me. And the main thing that a lot of people have with this type of gameplay is that the fact that it's an extraction shooter. Like, you see this game right here, it's just like there's so much going on. Like, it's a team-based as well, which a lot of people have issues with, which I think that making it purely team-based is definitely not the greatest thing to go about it. But for an extraction shooter where it's all about strategy, and if you die once, you lose everything in your inventory. It's not like a BR where it's like, yes, you die and that's it. You don't really lose anything. You just go back into the game and then, you know, you go from starting again. Where in this extraction shooter, it's just like you die and that's it. So it's all about like the slow gameplay, making sure that every single one of your actions count. Where this gameplay, it's extremely fast and extremely a lot going on. And then when it comes to the itemization itself as well, and I saw Shroud mention this when it comes to the itemization, is that this game is getting compared obviously to Escape from Tarkov, and you can say that like, oh, but it shouldn't, it should be like its own thing. Obviously they're both extraction, well, if they're both extraction shooters, they obviously have to have the comparisons made. And if we look at this right here, like, because this is, I feel like is definitely a better example itself. This is from the creator alpha gameplay highlights, and we have a look at the inventory, is that when it comes to Tarkov, they don't tell you exactly like how much each item is worth, what every single item does, what you need it for. And the thing about extraction shooters is that there is so many different items in the game, and you can say that that might ward off a lot of people from extraction shooters, from Escape from Tarkov, but that's actually what makes the games and that genre so unique, is its items in the game, is the fact that the game doesn't necessarily tell you where you have to go, what you have to do, and what every single item does, how much it's worth. And it's got so many different, like every single gun has got its own different like ammo types. It has so many different attachments in the game. There's so many different knickknacks that you can pick up within the game that after you extract, you can sell it for. And I feel like when it comes to Marathon, they're dumbing it down way too much. Like, this UI is like, there's so much going on, and it's telling you where to go, what to do, what exactly are the objectives inside this game. It's telling you who's gotten killed. It's just like, for an extraction shooter, that's not really how this genre has necessarily gone in the past. Where if we go to this person right here, this is a video from a YouTuber called Aculite, is that this is what Tarkov is. Extremely slow paced, and it's all about every single action that you do matters, and it's stripping it back. It's raw. And that's what makes extraction shooters exciting, is its raw feel. It's fact that like anything around any corner can kill you. You got to be slow, and you got to be strategic with every single movement that you do. And I feel like when it comes to the setting that Bungie is developing for their game, is that it doesn't really fit. And even if you look at the official like announced trailer itself, is that this initial like announced trailer of the game is that, yes, it still had the elements that are like, you know, people are complaining about, but it still feels like it has that grittiness to it. Like it has a bit of that edge to it. And like, you know, the decisions that you're making in this game, like that's what it feels like. It's like, damn, this seems like that there's a lot on the stake with this character that's going on right here. And like, and the way that this cinematic is put together, it feels like it has that edginess to it. It almost feels like it's got like a System Shock kind of feel to it. And even with this, like, I feel like this character design right here, even though it's similar to what we've seen in these trailers, is that you look at this one, is that there's so much going on this single character. And it looks plastic, where this character here, the shading is done really well. And even though it's like plastic, it kind of like, it still has a better feel to it. And the over design isn't necessarily there as much. Like the lipstick isn't smeared all over the face, and the small little details are done extremely well, where it feels like now for the game, it's just over designed to hell. And then obviously you got a lot of controversy surrounding the game as well about when it will initially come out. And that is the fact that the game is going to be full priced. So you will have to pay for this game when you want to go into it. And you know for a fact is that there is going to be so many microtransactions in this game, right? And I just hope itself that because this is a hero shooter as well, which I think that it's a great spin to put on the game, but I definitely feel like with them adding too much hand-holding into an extraction shooter, it takes the real raw feeling of an extraction shooter out of it. I feel like you can add these hero shooters into this extraction shooter genre, but still keep that raw feeling inside of it. Like you have it when it comes to Siege, is that has a raw tactical shooter feeling to it with those, you know, hero shooters with all the different operators in the game. You can do that exact same thing with Marathon, but I definitely feel, and I hope not, is that they might make all these heroes end up having to cost money or cost some premium currency in future updates, which I hope they don't go ahead and do. But then, you know, they're going to have battle passes. They're going to have this. They're going to have that. They're going to have so many different microtransactions in this fucking game that's going to be full priced on release. And you might be saying, Donnie, you're like picking a lot of bullshit out of this game. Like, it's not that deep. It's really, it just seems like it might be a fun game. But the reason why I'm talking about it in such like a critical way is because it's Bungie, because of the history that they have, and the fact that this just seems like a generic game. Like, it felt like when it came to Marathon that this should have been like a knockout of the park. Like, this should have been a 10 out of 10 game of the year type game, where it feels like it's just going to be another generic hero shooter with an extra, like inside the extraction shooter genre. Like, that's all it feels like. And like me personally, I'm sick and tired of this generic bullshit. Like, that's it. Like, if I'm going to get something in like an extraction shooter genre or a hero shooter, I want some edge to it. I want it to, you know, be really good. I want it to still keep the core elements of the genre that it's going in, with some other elements added into it, with like an edgy feel to it. With this, like I said, it's just the design of it and all these elements that are taken out of it and all the elements that Bungie's adding into it. It just feels super generic. And honestly, like it just doesn't feel like it would be worth your money. That's just my opinion at this point as well. Like, who knows? The game could come out and it could be really fun. And I hope that it is. I want this game to be great. I really, really do. But at this point, I just feel like it looks like just another generic hero shooter. That's all it looks like. It doesn't look like it's anything special. But I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about all this down below. That's going to be it from me. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.